Hey guys, today I wanted to share with you my summary on a Bitcoin mining company, Riot Platforms, ticker RIOT. I'll share with you my insights on whether it's best to buy more Riot stocks. Is it time to sell, or is it time to just hold and continue to dollar cost average down? Now, if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate the support by subscribing and hitting the like. I'll also be providing to you my summary on where I see the overall market with Bitcoin. Is the price of Bitcoin going to continue? Are we still in this bull market state? When is this bull market going to end? What my forecast with Bitcoin price is, along with all of the updates out there right now. We know that obviously Donald Trump is our new president as of November 5th, and that really changed the dynamics with our leader, President of the United States, supporting the United States being the capital of having a strategic reserve with Bitcoin. In fact, today, the House of Senate announced news that Pennsylvania will be the starting state to start accumulating Bitcoin with their strategy plan announced today. What does that mean? Game theory turns on not only within the United States, across the different states, but you look at all of the leaders outside of the country now that the President of the United States has set the trajectory with Bitcoin being the manifest destiny of the future for this country. And what that does is it drives the commodity up. Now, with Bitcoin being ranked number 8 in terms of the commodity, soon enough it'll be bypassing gold, for example. In fact, Bitcoin right now, the overall amount of money that's in Bitcoin is equivalent to like a company to that of like Google. So there's so much market sentiment right now. Everyone's trying to get into Bitcoin, and with the inflows with ETFs, there's just so much backing going on. And with now the red states now helping preserve the country and deregulating cryptocurrency, I really do think that this will have a profound effect with companies like Riot Platforms. What does this mean for companies like Riot? We'll get into the numbers, so let's begin, guys. First off, I wanted to share with you the overall price today. At the end of the stock trading, it was at $11.86. In fact, it opened up at high $12 and it started just bleeding out. It was unique in that the price of Bitcoin, about 30 minutes post opening of the stock market, the price of Bitcoin just dropped, and that resulted in most of the company miners dropping as well. We saw a correlation with CleanSpark dropping, Mara dropping, Bitfarms, as you can see over here, with consistent drops in percentage. Yesterday, it was a bigger bleed out. Now, most of you are wondering, is this a short-term hiccup? Which I firmly believe so, given that most of these miner companies ramped up so well in the last month. In fact, CleanSpark ramped up within last month, gaining about 51% before the start of this market here. So overall, the mining companies have done well in terms of the rise in share price, but just with this week alone, there's been just heavy manipulation going on, and I believe that market makers are trying to bring down the price so that they can get in. But the question is, will the price continue to drop come Friday tomorrow? Whether it's going to go up or down, I believe that as we carry over into the following week, perhaps the price of Bitcoin may start ramping up. Looking at the numbers now, live price of Bitcoin currently is hovering at the mid 88,000 per coin. So that's looking good. It's consolidating. As we look at the 1 week chart here, I mean, it ramped up from 75,000 back in November, and it started peaking, getting up to above threshold of 90,000. You can see here, and now it's beginning to consolidate. The question most of you are wondering is, are we at the top? Just looking at all of the news that's going around, the CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, he's already planning his party sometime in New Year's Eve. He's suspecting that the price of Bitcoin will reach 100K come November, December timeframe. So I firmly believe that a lot of folks are trying to get into Bitcoin right now. We all know there was the gold rush many, many years ago, but now it's the Bitcoin rush globally. It's really not like that tulip bubble that took place many years ago with the Dutch, because you can ultimately grow tulips, right? With the price of Bitcoin alone, supply and demand, the law of economics, Bitcoin will just become more scarce, and that will just rise the price with the increase in demand. So I believe that we're still in a bull market, and I wouldn't worry so much. So just as a result of that, taking advantage, dollar cost averaging down if you have high conviction in companies like Riot, buying at the discounted price, and believe me, come 6 months from now or weeks from now, you'll look back at this video and you'll say, "Hey, I made the right decision. I got more shares at a lower discounted price." But let's look at the details here. So we're looking at a 1 year range. Overall, we see these resistance values at like the high 18. We see here 17 back in February. That was around the time when Bitcoin started ramping back up. March timeframe, we saw $18, and then it started bleeding out. Around the time of April was the post-halving, and that's really what brought down the price of miners. In fact, the entire sector did really bad from April, May, all the way up through July until we saw an uptick um, post July, and it continued to just bleed out. And up until November 5th, when we heard the election news, things started looking much better. There's light at the end of the tunnel now that we have a leader who supports Bitcoin. In fact, his partner, Elon Musk, Elon on Tesla's balance sheet, you have Tesla owning cryptocurrency Bitcoin as well. So as you think about it now, you're beginning to hear all these small cap companies trying to buy Bitcoin. We've heard Microsoft considering buying Bitcoin. So when you hear those type of things, there's going to be a big conformity push where companies are trying to get into this now that you have BlackRock getting heavily involved in ETFs, putting so much money into Bitcoin right now. So that's where the conviction stands. And as a result, I really do think that the price of Bitcoin, it's going to, I'm thinking, break through the $100,000 range, consistent with what Michael Saylor is saying, and it may break through the $120,000 range. And come Q1, Q2, who knows? The sky is the limit, and it can ramp up even more. And we're still in a bull market right now, especially consistent with what happens when post-halving events occur. So I believe if Riot holds this consistent support here, hey, we're looking pretty good here still, right? I mean, it was back in the single digits, but if it can hold support at the 11, 12, we're going to start looking at the next leg up. I can see in the coming weeks, we may see it bypass, easily get past the $15 range, which we saw here back, a few days ago. But it can break the 15. And once we see it break through the 1550 range, I think that's when we start seeing the next leg up. So I wouldn't worry so much about what's happening recently. It's just, what went up just recently. Market makers are just trying to price it down so that they can start loading up because of just with all the market sentiment that we're seeing with Riot. But interestingly, why is Riot a company to consider here, right? I mean, I personally am invested in Riot, and I like their strategy as a minor company because Riot focuses on efficiency with operations. What does that mean? They're able to mine Bitcoin at a lower cost compared to all of their competitors, similar to like CleanSpark, Mara. Their costs, their fixed costs, energy costs, power costs cost a lot more. And they also have a strategy where with their main sites in Corsonica and in Rockdale, they're focused on curtailing as well in the seasons when it's much warmer. But now, when you think about it, as the price of Bitcoin is up, now they don't really have to assess to see if they're really going to have profit margins. Bitcoin is at a much higher rate. So in the month of October, they ramped up their Bitcoin mining. In fact, if you average that, that's about close to about 17 Bitcoins mined a day. In fact, the last 2 days for October, it bypassed this number. I think it was like close to like 18 Bitcoins mined per day. You factor that into the current price, that's their revenue. So they're actually gaining about $1.6 million revenue based on mining alone. That's not including their other service that they have available, but very solid numbers here with a 23% increase on Bitcoin produced when you compare it to September. So I'm really thinking that come November, December, we'll continue to see the average rate of Bitcoin produced per day ramp up, especially with the maturity of the Corsonica site as well as Rockdale getting replaced, mining devices out there to really improve their hash rate and minimize downtime, whether it's to repair equipment, things like that. With the recent acquisition at Kentucky, we'll see increase in the hash rate there as well. You see here so far it's only a 1.4 exahash here. I think there's strategies to slowly deploy that site so that they can get the biggest bang for their buck, which will contribute to their success overall. But here, just looking at the equivalence data here, Corsonica is matching Rockdale's performance. But when you think about Corsonica, just overall looking at the progression of Corsonica, here is building one on the right-hand side. They have a portion of this location fully ramped up mining at this time, but you look on the left-hand side here, I think this is their strategy vision for 2025, 2026. Can you imagine what the hash rate will be once the full Corsanica site is built? This is going to be huge news here. Just looking within the facility here, so emerging technologies, submerged devices to really cool down the devices, and it seems to be working very well according to the leadership team here, and hopefully they can assess and experiment and see what's best for the other building. Coming forward when Building 2 gets released. But overall, 1 gigawatt, imagine how much that can do in terms of just mining efficiency, production. So with their strategy here, you can see the vision up through 2027, but current state at the end of Q3, we see an exahash of about 28. Towards the end of this year, they're targeting close to about 35 exahash, and it'll just continue to exponentially increase as we look at the Kentucky future expansion in Corsonica's phase 2, which we saw in the picture on the left there. So there you have it. Most of you are wondering, is Riot a sell right now? Is it a hold? What should I be doing? I would suggest, based on your stomach risk tolerance, if you're able to take on risk for the sake of high rewards, I would just keep buying more, hold on to the shares and await for the gains, because what goes down quickly here will eventually start popping back up. And think about it here. The leader of the United States, he set the game plan here for the whole world, and we're going to start seeing countries load up on Bitcoin. And what does that mean? Bitcoin price is going to start skyrocketing, and that's going to benefit these mining companies to buy Bitcoin at the discount. No other companies can buy Bitcoin at the discount. Why? Because these are mining companies. They pay a fixed cost, whereas others have to buy Bitcoin at the price that it's valued at currently from a asking and bid price. So there you have it. I think that in the coming weeks, when we get towards December timeframe, we're looking at 15 plus onward, getting up to the potential of $18. And I may be setting that at the lower end, and it may even go beyond that. I can't really tell how high it can go, but it's just going to be based on the technicals, the fundamental analysis on Riot platforms. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you subscribe. Let me know what questions you have, comments that you have on Riot platforms, and how you see the dynamics of Bitcoin going on right now. Thank you. I look forward to producing more videos. Thank you. Bye.